The price tag on every sin. Did you know one of the greatest lies sin has ever told? In case you didn't, here is it. It goes, nobody knows, so nobody gets hurt. Thankfully, Solomon vehemently disagrees with sin's disastrous and unsolicited counsel. In Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13, he writes, He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Notice carefully, the verse does not say, He that commits sin shall not prosper. Rather, it says, He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. The problem is not merely the sin. The problem is the hiding, the covering, the pretending, the refusal to deal honestly with it, because every secret sin carries a price tag. The tragedy is that many people do not discover the cost until the bill arrives. The leak nobody sees. Imagine a small crack in a water tank. At first, the leak seems insignificant. Nothing dramatic happens. The tank still appears full. Everything looks normal from the outside. But day after day, water continues to escape. Eventually, the loss becomes visible. The problem did not begin when the tank became empty. The problem began when the crack was ignored. Secret sin works the same way. It quietly leaks strength, leaks peace, leaks joy, leaks spiritual sensitivity, and leaks intimacy with God. Due to the fact that the damage that sin causes happens gradually, many people fail to notice it. So what does it mean to cover sin? Solomon is not talking about receiving God's forgiveness. He's talking about hiding wrongdoing rather than dealing with it honestly. Covering sin often looks like excusing it, justifying it, blaming others for it, pretending it does not exist, and maintaining appearances while refusing repentance. The first person to attempt this was Adam. After sinning, he hid. Many people still do the same today. Although they apply different methods, yet it is still the same strategy. The hidden cost of secret sin. Number one, it costs peace. David described this experience vividly. Before confessing a sin, he wrote, When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. That's Psalms chapter 32, verse 3. Outwardly, he was king. Inwardly, he was troubled. Many people have expensive houses but no peace, public success but private torment. The conscience is difficult to silence permanently. Number two, it costs spiritual sensitivity. Think of a smoke detector with weak batteries. Eventually, it becomes less effective. Likewise, repeated unconfessed sin dulls spiritual sensitivity. Things that once troubled the conscience no longer seem serious. Warnings become easier to ignore, and the heart becomes harder. Number three, it costs trust. Trust is built slowly and lost quickly. One hidden sin exposed at the wrong moment can destroy relationships that took years to build. Families have suffered, friendships have ended, and ministries have collapsed. Not always because of the original mistake, but because of the cover-up. Number four, it costs freedom. The more secrets a person carries, the more energy is required to protect them. Lies require more lies. Deception requires more deception. Soon, the person becomes imprisoned by the very thing they thought they were controlling. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. At first, one stone seems manageable, then another, then another. You continue walking, smiling, functioning, and pretending everything is fine. But eventually, the weight becomes exhausting. That is what hidden sin does. The burden grows heavier with time. Confessing is not God trying to embarrass you. It is God inviting you to put the backpack down. The beautiful second half of the verse. Many people stop reading after the warning. But the verse continues. It says, "But whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy." What a beautiful promise. Notice the two requirements. Confess, that's number one. Number two, stop pretending. Stop hiding. Agree with God about the sin. Bring it into the light and forsake it. Do not merely acknowledge it. Turn away from it. Repentance is not merely feeling bad. It is changing direction. Why God value honesty? Consider a patient with a serious illness. A good doctor cannot help if the patient refuses to describe the symptoms honestly. Healing begins when truth enters the conversation. Likewise, spiritual healing begins when honesty enters the relationship. God already knows what we're trying to hide. Confession is not informing God, it is agreeing with Him. So, here are some life applicable lessons. Number one, deal with small compromises early. A spark is easier to extinguish than a wildfire. Number two, value integrity more than image. A good reputation is valuable, but genuine integrity is much more valuable. Number three, don't let pride block repentance. Pride says, hide it. Wisdom says, deal with it. Number four, run toward God, not away from Him. Adam hid. David confessed. One response increases distance, the other opens the door to restoration. Number five, remember that mercy is available. God's goal is not merely exposure, God's goal is restoration. The verse ends with mercy, not condemnation. In conclusion, please always keep in mind that every secret sin carries a price tag. The cost may not appear immediately, but eventually it affects peace, freedom, trust, intimacy with God, and spiritual growth. Yet, Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13 gives us hope. It says, "Whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy." The enemy says, hide it. Wisdom, on the other hand, says, bring it into the light. Because what is covered by pride eventually becomes a burden, but what is confessed before God becomes an opportunity for mercy. And mercy is always lighter than secrecy. So if there is something hidden in the shadows of your hearts today, remember God's mercy is greater than your failure. But His mercy is found on the path of honesty, confession, and repentance. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13 repeats, "He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy." Here's a question for you to reflect on and answer. What burden might God be asking you to bring into the light today, so that His mercy can begin its restoring work? Please kindly leave your thoughts and answers in the comments. God bless you.